This episode of the podcast is brought to you by our friends at Track Farms and their excellent CBD products. I've been talking about it for my back, for inflammation, for health. Andrea likes it too, don't you?
I love it.
Yep, she's in the room and she loves it. So you can take that recommendation to the bank. Go to track-farms.com/strangers and get yourself my 15% off code. Enter the code strangers at checkouts. 15% off your CBD order. Get you some CBD. Krista DeSocio, welcome to the show. Thanks for being here.
Hey, thank you for having me. I'm really excited. This is my first podcast. So
That's what you told me before we got started, and I'm really excited about that. I also feel like just a tornado today because
oh gosh,
it's especially weird when I have to drive a bit farther to a guest, and so if it's anything over like 20 minutes, and I think I drove for about like an hour 15 or so today, when I show up, I'm just like, okay. First of all, I got to switch from driving mode, and then I've got to set up all this equipment.
All the things.
And also try to be introducing myself and making sense of what it is that I'm doing here. And also think about that we're going to do a podcast and try to catch my breath. And I have to pee always. And so, you know.
It's okay. Well, now you're here. We're settled. We're set up. So you can just relax. Take it easy.
You do have a great space to be relaxed in here.
Well, thank you. Do you want a drink? Can I get you anything?
No, I'm golden. I'm golden. You said a lovely cheese plate, which unfortunately I don't think I can eat while we're talking because I would probably give someone a really hard time.
Yeah, the crunching. I have a sound thing anyway.
What is that? Yeah. There's a word for it.
It's like misophonia.
Oh yeah.
Where you can't really stand it when people chew loudly. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I kind of want to. Yeah, I can't stand it. It's one of my tics.
And I've got the headphones on you today, so if I started doing that, you would also be suffering with having to listen.
Right, true, yeah. So we'll skip the eating.
Perfect. But we are in your lovely kitchen here. It's a perfect setting for this, which I'm excited because you are all about the cooking and the food. And
I am all about the cooking and the food. Yes, right? Who isn't? Really?
I think that some people aren't, and it makes me really sad. But there's people like you out there who are making things to try to help people get into it and be cooking and doing things. So I guess let's give the people some backstory. So how did you get started doing what it is that you are doing now with all the cooking?
Well, it's not really exciting other than my husband and I, after we got married in 2012, we started traveling, and we don't have any children, so we're able to kind of pick up and go to different places relatively easy. And I just started taking cooking workshops. I've always liked to cook. I've always enjoyed it, but I never really thought about turning it into anything. And we would travel. We would go to different places like Italy, Thailand, Spain. I would come back and I would make the recipes, and my friends and family were just so encouraging. They're like, start a food blog. And to me, there are so many really good food blogs out there that I felt I'll just be another one lost in the crowd. But everyone just kept pushing and pushing and pushing in a loving way, of course. And I thought, you know what? Okay, let's start a food blog. And so I just kind of went into it. I did have my website for probably a year and a half before anyone knew about it because I was so my skin is not that thick, and I'm like, people are just going to critique me because I'm not a trained chef or anything like that. So I kind of kept it a secret. And then one day, I guess 2018, I decided this was silly and I needed to put it out there, and I did, and it has been nothing but wonderful love and support from everyone. So that's kind of how it got started, you know.
And you've got a real stronghold here in Knoxville, which I should probably mention on the episode that we're in Knoxville.
Yes.
Because people don't always know when it comes to me. It says on the episode. I guess they would know a little bit. But you've got kind of a crew out here that that know you, that are in the Knoxville area. And I've seen you do a couple of different videos for, it seems like, some various like Knoxville media outlets and things like that. And you cook and talk so well. And it was one of the first things that I messaged you about. I was like, how do you, because like I can't even have a conversation with Andrea all that well if I'm actually, like if I'm cooking, not I'm chopping an onion or something, but I'm cooking. I'm like, all right, I'm going to put some headphones on and just, I need the kitchen to myself, and then dinner will be ready in an hour. Like that's how I roll.
Well, it's kind of funny because it's always been kind of like a secret. I guess now it'll be out, but I've always wanted to be on Food Network ever since, I don't know, Food Network was a thing. I'm 40, so I don't know, probably it came out in 96, 98. So I was 16, 18. I've always been just, I can do this. I can cook and talk. So literally every night cook dinner, I kind of practice. I'm not always
Really?
I'm not always talking out loud, but I'll just like talk to myself and okay, here's what we're gonna do, and maybe like throw in a little tidbit or some advice or a tip or a trick or something. And I have a friend who works in media. Her name is Erin, and the Knoxville Weekend videos, which I'm sure what you're talking about.
Yeah, I
She
think that was the one I saw.
yeah, she started that whole thing, and she said, well, if you're ready, I'm ready to have you on the show. And literally, she had never heard me talk and cook before, ever, and showed up.
It's a good friend.
Yes. And she's like, I just know you can do it. And I decided I'm going for it all out, and I'm going to give it everything I've got. And it kind of took off, and we ended up doing maybe like 25 or 30 of those cooking videos. And I just love it. I just think it's fun, and some are better than others, but I just really enjoy it. And maybe Food Network, we'll see one day.
Well, I think that I don't know. It seems like tides are shifting way more to like the individual to create their own thing.
True.
And I mean, you've been doing it with the blog. That was what I was going to ask. Is like, are you going to start a video series where it's your own production? Your kitchen is a set. I mean,
It is kind of set. Luckily, yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Like, you don't understand. The size of your island is most of my RV,
Yeah.
including the kitchen. So, yeah, it's phenomenal. But is that something you thought about? Is we'll just get the camera set up myself and I'll just cook all day?
Yeah, I mean, I have thought about it. The thing about food blogging is there are so many steps that so many people don't realize. One, you have to come up with a recipe. Then there's the shopping. Then there's the cooking it. Then there's the videoing it. If I'm just doing it on Instagram stories or something like that, and then you have to write the blog post, and the video piece of it. While I do actually come from a video background, I worked in video production for probably 10 years. I know how to do it, and I know how much work it takes.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of a perfectionist too. That I haven't made that leap yet, but I know that is ultimately the next step that I have to take if I want to, continue to be relevant and on top of things, and so I know I need to go there.
Right. It was something I hesitated on for a long time with this podcast too. Like the first 30 episodes, I didn't do it.
Right.
And I was just like, so Andrea and I, we have a marketing agency, so we're working with video all the time there. We've got our own brand, the Wild Hickson's thing, where it's all video there too. And even our company, Marketing Tea, we create video content for that too. So it's like, I just wanted one less thing of video, but eventually, like, I just figured I can throw a GoPro up and just be like,
Right.
all right, it takes a little extra time, but I'm not like doing any post processing. It's the same thing. It's not like I cut things out of these episodes or anything. I tune them up to make them sound nice, but that's it.
Right.
So eventually, I just had to get on board.
I know. I've got to do it. I've got to spend some more time and
Yeah.
just do it.
I feel like that's the next big thing with video, because it's become so accessible for everybody to create video,
Yes.
but not so accessible for everybody to edit video.
Yes.
It's a really daunting thing, and it's a really creative process, and it takes forever, and it takes lots of computer space and time and cloud space and storage. And I don't know. It feels like at some point someone's going to be able to figure out how to systematize that process, or almost like have an app that understands what should be in this and what should not be in this,
Right.
and what's the vision. And
there is on the iPhone now, you can edit video, which I have
Yeah.
done on there.
they have Premiere right on the iPhone.
Yeah.
But it still takes.
And it is still very time consuming.
Yeah.
It absolutely is. And I used to, years ago, like I said, I worked in television production for the University of Tennessee in the athletic broadcasting department. So yeah, I would go out with a camera, I would shoot B-roll of athletes, I would do the interview, come back, you have to upload
Yeah.
all of that video real time. There's not like a speedy process. There wasn't when I was doing it.
There still is.
Yeah.
And that's
And I mean, and I would put together, a 30-minute show,
Yeah.
and you've got to have all the graphics, all the lower thirds, you want to title everybody and all the steps. If you want to do it really well, which is how I'd want to do it, it is a bit daunting.
Yeah,
but,
it takes a
you know,
village. Like,
yeah,
it takes a
it
village
does.
or a village's worth of time that one person does.
Right. And I'm not at that level to hire anyone yet. So
Right. Yeah. But that's not true, because you certainly are. But I understand that it's also like a super expensive thing to do. But at the same time, you definitely are. Like, if you started it, people would be watching it, because it's.
Well, thank you.
it's
That's very
phenomenal.
kind of you to say.
I want your advice on, well, I don't know where to go first here. Because I think I should probably tell people a little bit about Tennessee.
Tennessee is a beautiful.
Gorgeous.
It is.
I hadn't,
Especially this time of year. You really picked the best, probably couple weeks to be here visiting.
yeah. Well, so we're staying in Pigeon Forge, which
Mm-hmm.
is just about an hour from here,
Yes.
and it's most famous, I suppose, for, well, two things, I guess, which is Dollywood, of course, is there, which
Yes.
I've been calling Dolly World.
Oh, yeah. Dollywood.
Yeah,
That's
Dollywood.
okay.
Cool. I'll
No
get
worries.
it. And
It's Dolly. She's good. She'll forgive you.
I know she's very
She's
relaxed.
a lovely.
person.
Yes.
I've met her 3 times.
Have you
No, I'm
really?
just
No.
kidding.
Okay.
But
I
that
was
would
like,
be really
wow,
cool.
that's amazing.
She gives me express permission to call it Dolly
Yeah.
World. And of course, the Great Smoky Mountain National Park,
Yes,
which is
is-
Mountains National Park, which is phenomenal. And
Absolutely.
the leaves are changing. And
The most visited national park in the country.
yes, I saw that firsthand the other day.
Yeah. I'm sure
I'm glad we messed up correctly. Like we went out early morning,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and so we had a place to park. We went on a hike, came back to that same parking lot, and it was a nightmare.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was like 11 probably.
I'm not surprised.
On our way, so it was easy to get out, so we did it right apparently. But on our way out, there's just miles
Of traffic.
of bumper to bumper.
Yeah.
and I
that's
was
the
like,
bad thing about it.
I don't think people at the back of that line knew just how far from the park they were. I almost wanted to start rolling down my window and be like, "Hey, man,
Turn around.
it's gonna be
Yeah,
like
you
4
need to-
hours before you get in there. You might just want to give up on that."
Yeah, it's well, and it's also fall break for the local schools. So yeah, you kind of got a double whammy. The
That's
leaves are
probably-
changing, so
yeah.
you've got all of the neighboring states and cities and people coming in, but then it's also fall break for the locals. So they're probably just doing day trips as well, since
Right.
people aren't really traveling as much anymore. So you kind of got the good side that you got to see the beautiful leaves up there, but yeah, I'm sure it's really pretty busy.
We did find kind of a back entrance to the park though, because there is kind
Smart,
of the main
yes.
one everybody uses, but if you can kind of find the back one,
Yes, that was smart. Good job.
Well, it's been sometimes I don't know. When we pull in somewhere, there are places that I like off the bat immediately, and there are places that I'm like, I don't like this place. And that was my first impression of Pigeon Forge, just because I will not lie about it. I was like, this is too busy. There's so many cars here. We're packed
Yep.
like sardines.
I know.
Which feels especially weird during COVID. Like,
Right.
I don't have a personal concern about COVID per se, because I know that I'm quite healthy. I'm sure I'm fine. But
At the same time, you don't want to be reckless,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, there's a balance.
it feels weird. It feels weird to see massive groups of people
I
now.
know, it really does. Or
Even
if
when
you
I'm
like
watching a
find
movie,
yourself in one.
Do you watch like movies and you see like shots of just huge parties
Yes.
going on? And you're like, they
You're
shouldn't
like,
be doing
"Whoa,
this party.
when was this recorded?
That
Yeah.
happened fast, didn't it? Because it's only been a
Yes.
few months and we're
I
already
know,
feeling that way.
and I don't really like it, to be honest. I
No.
think it's kind of sad because we are people that need that interaction with other people. That's just like who we are as a race, as you know.
Yeah.
So I don't like that part of COVID or of Pigeon Forge, honestly, because it is very touristy.
It's weird. But I will say that I think yesterday is when it turned around for me and it won me over, and Andrew and I
Good.
went on a motorcycle ride
Ooh, nice.
through that back entrance. There
Yeah.
were no cars, and we saw kind of the other side of Pigeon Forge,
Lovely.
past where all the touristy stuff is, and I
Yes.
was like, all right, we can come back here. I would do this again.
Yeah, I mean, it really is. If you get up there into Gatlinburg and kind of go past, even like, there are some really nice,
Yeah.
beautiful areas that you
Yeah.
can enjoy without tons of people.
I think if we had kids and we wanted to go
True.
to all these places, and I wanted to go see the Hatfield and McCoy dinner show.
Yes, or the
It'd be great.
Titanic Museum, or
There's
yes,
so many different architectural phenomena out there.
yeah,
There's
the upside down.
Mhm.
Yes, mhm.
Big upside down
Wonderworks.
mansion.
Mhm.
Yeah, so if I was that kind of person, I think it would be fantastic.
Yeah, it
But
would.
I just want to go into the woods and not
Chill.
hear anybody. For
I
miles,
gotcha.
Except for like a
gotcha.
bear.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but that's been good. But you're in Tennessee,
Mhm.
which means you are landlocked.
Correct.
Yes. And
Yes.
what I want to know is you have really bold seafood recipes. And
do
I
like
have a
seafood.
hard time with seafood when I'm in a landlocked
I
place.
know.
And there's got to be a secret I'm missing.
Well, so originally I am from West Virginia near Maryland. Maryland was literally in my backyard.
Okay.
I could go West Virginia, Maryland, PA in 10 minutes. I could hit all three states. They get really skinny up there. And so I went to school in Maryland. My parents worked in Maryland, which is not landlocked. So we ate seafood all the time. And there is a local fishery shop here in town where I will get most of my seafood. I'm sure it comes in frozen, but I mean, it's great. It's awesome. It's fresh as it's gonna get, and I think it's fine. So I just go with it. I think you just have to kind of search it out based on where you're at, and you can find some good seafood.
You
Even
have
if
to
it's
know
not.
the spots.
You
But
do.
it's part preparation too, isn't it? I mean,
Well,
I-
you don't want to also overcook it or over season fish. Traditionally, I love scallops. I love shrimp. I love lobster. I mean, tilapia. You name it, I'm gonna eat it. Soft shell crabs. I mean, bring it on. I'm here for it. Shrimp boils. Dump it out on this big island and on some newspaper, and we're good to go.
Yeah, well, shrimp's an interesting one too because I tried. So when we lived in Colorado, I would get frozen fish and I would try, but it always felt like it's just not the same as when you're just in an ocean state and you're like.
It's true, and maybe I've been gone so long now that I've lost my taste for it.
But there's tricks though. There's tricks, and the thing I tried with shrimp was people said soak it in milk. Have you ever tried this?
I have actually never tried that.
That's the one I read online for
Okay.
people who have a hard time with shrimp when they're in like a landlocked place.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know exactly what that does. Which usually I feel like that would be something I'd know. If people listen to this podcast, they know that I get into the nerdy aspect of food a lot. But I actually have no idea why supposedly it helps sort of strip down
regular
some of that.
milk or buttermilk? Because I know chicken is great soaked in buttermilk.
I don't know. But then again, I don't know the difference between like whole milk and buttermilk.
Well,
frankly.
buttermilk is kind of, I don't want to say fermented, but it's definitely more tangy, thicker than regular milk.
So it's more like a
tangy.
cream of some sort. There's
Yes, like you could add a citric acid to regular milk to get buttermilk in a pinch. So,
okay.
but I've never tried that. I've honestly not even heard of that before. So I'll give it a go.
This was the thing I tried. It was better. It worked a little
really?
bit. I soaked it for a couple hours.
Did you kind of do a taste test, like a side by side?
Yeah,
taste test?
yeah, because I can't really. I'm not a big fan of shrimp if it's really kind of fishy and seems like all right, this has definitely been frozen a couple times and it seems off and it messes with me a lot. But it helped, so it did something.
Well, there you go.
I don't know.
Huh. Well, I'll give it a try.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Of course.
I love learning new tricks.
I don't know. I hope it helps, but
Yeah.
it seems like it doesn't really bother you anyways. So
Well, yeah, I mean, I think also because if you're doing it in a shrimp boil or shrimp and grits, you're adding some really good seasonings and flavors. And so I think it kind of all brings it together. And also not overcooking shrimp. Like that'll kill it immediately. And even, if it's just fresh caught or not.
yeah,
That's the biggest thing I think with shrimp
seafood.
and scallops.
I think seafood in general is so precious. It's
It
so
is. Mussels,
fragile.
like you just need like a few minutes.
I know.
And some wine and garlic and butter, and it's so good.
I think that's why I steer clear of seafood for the most part, is that I'm just so much more likely to mess it up. And I'm a totally proficient
give it a
cook. but-
go.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean, why not? We're like, so you mess it up. You've learned something from it, and it's probably still going to be edible, even if it's not.
Maybe not. I did get really bad food poisoning from some trout I cooked once.
Oh, snap.
And I know I
okay,
cooked it to
well,
temperature.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, maybe there was some cross contamination.
That's possible.
Maybe.
Because you don't know. I mean, when you buy it from like a deli counter, that's like even if it's a good grocery store, it's like what I don't understand is this fish is right next to that other fish.
Right.
How are you guys worried about that at all?
I mean, if you get it up to temperature, you should
Yeah.
be fine.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought.
But yeah,
That
That-
night begged to differ.
trout. That reminded me. So my grandparents they've passed away years ago, but they had a cabin, and I would go down and fish with my grandfather all the time, and we would catch fish and bring it back, and I would clean the fish. My grandparents, taught me how to like cut the heads off and clean out the guts, scale it. And then my grandmother, she was such a good like Southern cook, and we would like deep fry it. And oh my gosh, that was so good. I haven't had like that fresh a fish in a long time, but that just brought back like a really good memory. So
Do you do any hunting or fishing around here at all?
no, I mean you definitely can. I'm just not. I actually do like enjoy fishing. I've never gone hunting, but I am pretty good with a gun.
Okay.
Yeah, I've gone like
Like with a rifle?
target shooting, yeah, or a handgun. Yeah,
Sure.
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know. Can you hunt with a handgun though? I don't
No,
think you
no, just I was just saying in general. I know how to shoot a
You're
gun.
comfortable with it.
Yes.
That's good.
Yeah, you know.
That's good. I did. We just stayed with some friends in Wisconsin, and they gave us a bunch of venison from like
Ooh,
last year's hunt, and
yeah,
it was phenomenal.
phenomenal.
They gave us some venison brats, and I hadn't had a venison
Whoa.
brat before.
Yeah, no.
I made it. What was weird is I made the brats that night. I grilled them up.
Do you
I
soak
made
them in beer first, or
Oh
you just
yeah,
go? Yeah, yeah. Okay.
I boiled them in beer and onions, and then
Mm.
grilled them. I made sourdough buns for
Oh,
them.
look at
We had the
you,
whole nine.
fancy.
But then I sat down, literally sat down to eat, and I was like, I have no appetite, Andrea. I'm just not hungry tonight.
How did that happen?
I have a bad time with my appetite.
Really?
Yeah, I have to force myself to eat most of the time.
Really?
Hmm.
You're just like, I'm not hungry, even after you've like been smelling it all that time.
Yes. Yeah, and I don't. Okay? No, I'm not even gonna tell you this. You'd be mad at me for this.
Why?
It's a big
No,
cooking
I mean now
no-no.
you have to
I
kind
don't
of.
taste my food when I cook. I just smell it.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Everybody says you have to
You
taste it
have
as
to
you go. I don't
taste.
know why. I can't stand it. I don't do it.
But I don't even
It
understand
comes out great.
that. Okay, well, I mean, but I mean, wow. Okay, all right. I
Just
mean,
go
I wouldn't
by.
know. I wouldn't know how not to taste
Yeah.
as I go because I would. I mean, I could completely under season something, and then that would be embarrassing to serve that.
I know. I'm trying to get better. Trying to get better. But at the same time, I mostly cook recipes that I've got like locked in. Like I can
Okay,
look at it for
gotcha,
me because I have like a real small rep and I know these things really well and I'll
gotcha.
crank them out. So
Okay,
I guess that's part of the difference. But I've been
yeah.
trying. I've been trying. Where was I going with any of that? Oh no. But we sat down to eat these brats and I was
Oh
like,
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just so not hungry. I took one bite and that changed immediately
Oh,
because
okay, good. Whew, I'm
I
now.
think I was picturing beef brats, which I'm not the biggest fan of, like a beef brat.
Yeah.
This was totally different. And it
Okay.
was phenomenal. And I was like, nope, I'm good. Just
You're like, no,
kidding.
I'm in. I'm in.
Yeah.
Just bring it on. Yeah,
Yeah.
let me
I
fill my
couldn't
face.
I couldn't smell it because brats they sit in the casing and you can't really
Sure.
smell them unless you bust them open, which is what
Right,
you want to do
right.
anyway. And so
So one bite and you were
one bite,
sold.
I was in.
Okay,
It was
good.
great.
I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad you at least went for one bite because that's mine. That's kind of my thing. I will pretty much. I mean, I'm sure there's something I would not want to eat, but I'm gonna go for anything one time.
Yeah.
Because what if I love it and I missed out on it because I just thought it was weird
And it's
or
easy.
you
We
need
know how to
knows
eat
one
things.
bite.
It's not like okay, I might be a piano prodigy, but what if I never play a piano ever?
Right.
It's not like that. It's just like just take a
Exactly.
bite and just see.
Just
Maybe you'll like
see.
it. Maybe you'll change
And
your
which is funny because growing up I was super picky eater and but again like one day it just like just flipped and I decided this could be amazing and I'll miss out on it for the rest of my life. How silly is that?
Well, they say that that's not such a bad thing for someone who likes to cook, because if you are picky, it may mean that you're whatever a super taster or something like
Oh,
that.
I
You're just
am a
very
super
sensitive.
taster.
Are you actually?
I do. I firmly believe that I am a super taster.
Have you done the little test that they give?
Yeah, the little paper where you eat
Yeah.
the paper and it's really sour.
Well, if it's really sour, that means you're a super taster,
Yeah.
apparently.
Yeah. I probably still have one in the drawer over here. Yeah.
Can I do it?
You want to try one?
Oh yeah, I
Yeah,
do.
okay, let me see if I still have it.
How
Oh,
bad is it? That cord is really long. You'll be
well,
fine. Oh my gosh, folks.
let me see. Hold on. I told it. It's in the junk drawer. I'm looking.
That's okay. I'll entertain the people. Okay, for anybody who hasn't heard of this before, I've heard that there's some strip of paper that if you lick it, it should tell you if you are a super taster, because you've got super heightened sense of your taste buds or whatever it is. And this apparently tastes crazy to people who are super tasters, and regular folks don't really taste anything.
And I hate to disappoint you.
Oh.
I cannot find it in here.
That's okay.
Oh, that's a bummer. That would
That
have
is
been
a bummer.
good.
I know. You got me really excited too.
Oh wait. Oh wait.
Oh no.
Or it was in the other junk drawer.
Okay.
Okay.
The super taster test. Wow.
Let's see. See, even it says on
It
there,
does.
right? You
I know.
read the packaging. Mm-hmm. So if you're a super taster, you have like twice as many taste buds per square inch, whatever we want to call that.
Okay.
With one left.
It looks like you're giving me acid. to
It
be
does.
fair.
It is. It's like a little strip
It's
of
like-
paper. Here, you can read the.
No. I trust you.
Here, so the super taster test. Try saying that 5 times fast. Okay, so the super taster test is a simple diagnostic tool that will help determine if you are a super taster. It will taste a certain way depending on your genetic makeup. Place one strip on your tongue. After a few seconds, remove the strip from your mouth. Note how the paper tastes.
Okay. I gotta freshen up here.
Yeah.
Like,
Take
what
a
if
sip
I've got
of
some
water.
gum, or what if I have some water?
Yeah, I would. Yeah, like just swish around some water and see.
Okay.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
It's a little nerve-wracking to do it in front of people
I
because
know.
now I'll never
Like,
be able to lie about it ever again.
No. Well, do you wait, hold on. Do you think you are a super taster or not?
Okay. So you were picky eater as a child. What do we mean by
Very.
picky eater?
Like, I hate vegetables.
Okay. You still hate vegetables?
I don't like many of them
Oh.
unless they're roasted. I've
Okay.
grown up a bit,
Mhm.
and like roasted string beans. I don't really like lettuce at all.
Well, that's kind
But
of worthless
Right?
nutritionally. So.
No, my husband will literally just eat lettuce plain. Like, he'll just
Well, that's
rip off a
interesting.
thing of romaine, like a stalk of romaine, and eat it like a rabbit. No dressing, no like nothing.
That's too bitter
That's
for me.
weird. Yeah, no. So I actually learned this about super tasters. That's why I went searching for the
Okay.
test from Alton Brown, who's
Okay.
on the Food Network.
Yeah.
He does like the food science.
I love him.
Yes, amazing man. So super tasters in general do not like vegetables because we can taste the dirt. And I have always said that my entire life, vegetables taste like dirt. Like, I feel like especially like a carrot. Ugh.
Okay.
And even like peas are the worst for me. Peas
Really?
and lima beans. Oh, I still can't do
What about
those.
like in a stir fry or something? Because that's how I love vegetables.
Yeah,
I'll
I
eat them
mean,
in a big old stir fry.
yes, if they're stir fried with lots of
Soy sauce.
soy sauce
or
and
coconut aminos.
all that,
Oh,
yes. Then it's no problem. So,
I did not like vegetables as a kid.
okay, see? Okay, yep.
But you know what really happened for me was, first of all, I just said, I'm going to start liking vegetables. I'm an adult man now. It's time to start liking
Right,
vegetables.
yes,
They're super
kinda-
good for me. I'm a very health conscious person.
Yep.
It's time to eat some veggies.
Yep.
But then we also, one of the first things Andrew and I did was we cut sugar out of our diet. Like,
that's awesome.
there's barely any left, and what is like in kombucha or, well, that's bad. That's all I get the sugar out for. Because you have to feed the bacteria that eats.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, that made the biggest difference, I think, for me. Like, now I'll drink one of those like a seltzer water,
Yeah. Mhm.
like a flavored seltzer water.
Yep.
And I'm like, that's too sweet for me.
Oh,
like a
even if it
complete-
doesn't have any sugar in it.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So, I guess I should preface this that I've had this test for a while. So, hopefully
I can just blame it on that.
Doesn't. Yeah. So
What do I
let's
do?
see.
Put it-
So you place one strip on your tongue. After a few seconds, remove the strip from your mouth, and then tell us how the paper tastes.
Do I like put it on my tongue and close my mouth and just like let it sit?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Like maybe, yeah, just put it on there. Yes, an increased number of taste buds has an impact on the way food tastes. Super tasters tend to dislike strong, bitter foods like raw broccoli. Yes, grapefruit, hate it. Coffee, love it. Dark chocolate, it's not my favorite.
I like dark chocolate.
You do?
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. What do you think? What do you got? What do you taste? Anything?
I'm getting a little bit of bitterness.
You are? Okay.
Actually, that's turning more bitter since I took
as
the
you
strip
take it.
out.
Yeah.
That's really bitter, actually.
Okay, so super tasters find the paper extremely bitter.
Ooh.
Tasters will detect a mild, bitter, or bland taste. Non-tasters taste nothing. So that would be a bummer if somebody was a non-taster.
That's super
I can't
gross,
imagine.
actually.
Yeah. Do you need a water?
No,
Do you
I
need to rinse
I'll-
with some water?
That's bad.
Okay, see? Okay, so we
Ooh.
just confirmed that you are indeed a super taster. Who knew? You did not know coming to my house you were going to find that out, right?
No, but now I'm a little sad because that actually tasted really, really bad. I gotta move
No, you
past
have
that.
it. Do you want to eat a grape or something?
Yeah, I really do. Oh my god. Yep, that's
Yeah.
rough.
So there you have it,
Okay,
folks. Researchers indicate that super tasters have a lower risk of cardiovascular disease.
Lower risk or higher risk?
Lower.
Oh, that's good.
Because they have a lower fat intake. So there you go. And it
Okay.
says also to give your child a break if they don't like broccoli.
Oh, okay.
So for all
Yeah.
those people out there listening, if their kid doesn't like broccoli.
Yeah. There's some of that is genetic. It's just like a nature versus nurture thing, isn't it? Because there's some of it that's genetic. You're not going to like vegetables as a kid, maybe. And then there's
Right.
some of it that's like if you don't feed your kid vegetables, they just won't grow to appreciate them at all. And
Right.
so
So you have to try.
it's a little bit of both. My phone's
Yeah.
distracting me. I should turn it off. I'm bad. If it's up, it's like gonna start lining up.
I know. It's just human nature at this point in our lives to look at the phones.
I know. Grasp my attention too easily. No, that's okay. Well, I feel special then.
See, there you go. Now you can like add that to your repertoire of things.
But at the same time, I've also heard of people doing that, and they have to like I heard about this conference where they gave it to all the participants, and one person like ran out of the room like trying not to puke, basically.
Whoa.
Because it was that bad. So I'm definitely not on that level.
Okay.
But that was pretty good.
Wow. Well, there we go.
Was that what it was for you too then? So are we?
Yeah, it was bitter.
Good.
It was bitter for sure.
Okay.
So, and I'm also really good at guessing the color of jelly beans.
What?
If you blindfold me, I can like guess any color jelly bean.
That's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
I wish we had some. We could try it.
Yeah, I didn't bring any with me, unfortunately. Yeah. But can you
or
stand
gummy bears? Like I can tell you any color gummy bear.
I thought those were all the same. No, I guess those aren't all the same.
They're different. They're so
it depends
different.
On the
My husband thinks they're all the same. He's literally blindfolded me and feeds me gummy bears.
But M&Ms are not.
M&Ms are the same.
Okay.
I think though the sugar on the outside does have a different texture. Some of them.
That would make sense.
Yes,
I could see that.
I do think they're all the same.
If it's like grittier or...
Yes, precisely.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
I saw a great video online of a dude doing the like Pepsi or Coke challenge. It's like a blindfolded challenge. And he's like, I'll never pick the Pepsi. I love Coke. No way. And he's like, this one's the best. And takes his blindfold off and it's a Pepsi. It's just...
Same. I'm going to go Pepsi over Coke, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, it's just a good lesson in the ego of the tongue, I suppose.
Yes.
You just can't trust yourself fully. You gotta test it.
You gotta test it.
Find out.
I'm with you.
Well, that was fun. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, my pleasure.
That's actually a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Now I can say that I've done that, and it tastes quite bad.
In a case, it tastes terrible.
Yeah. Where did you get it from? We can tell people where to get it.
We got this. I got it at, I guess, just the supertastertest.com. Oh yeah, supertaster.com.
Supertaster.com. You can go find out how you think that tastes.
They're in New York.
You can either validate your thoughts that you're a foodie or not. Okay, here's an issue I have with food.
Yeah.
I cook 99% of the time for us. So we so rarely go out to eat. Mm-hmm. But you've done extensive travel and eating foods, but you also love to cook. But how do you balance those two things? Because I've gotten to a point where I cook so like religiously for us that like I'm cooking. And I cook different things. I do have that small menu that is like, all right, this is like the menu, but I mix things up within that menu. So like I'll make a pizza, but it's like one of 6 or 7 different styles of pizza or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So but I've gotten to a point where I don't even like food that I haven't prepared myself.
Oh.
That I'm just thinking about like, I don't know what's in this. And that's weird for me.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm not that way.
Okay.
I mean, there are definitely things that I like to cook and think that I cook them well. I don't know what those things are at the moment, but there are also restaurants that I just really enjoy going to. And
like
that
what
I really
kind of
like.
places?
Like a Thai restaurant.
Mm.
They make this phenomenal sea bass in this sauce with the shrimp and the scallops over some bok choy, and it is heavenly.
Yeah.
And I've asked them many times for the recipe. But no, I mean, I love to cook. I love to do all the chopping. It's therapeutic to me. Like I will chop for days. Like whenever I'm doing Thanksgiving, I'm like, nobody bring anything. I want to make all the things because I just love it. I take a day off from work and, but then also there are days that I'm like, yo, I'm not cooking. Where are we going out to dinner? Yeah. I don't know. I'm not all or nothing type of personality. I definitely like to mix it up. And when COVID first happened and I was cooking every single day for like April and May, I'm like, okay, I'm done. We're not cooking. I'm not cooking anything for, a week. We would just go out or get takeout or whatever.
Yeah.
Because I just need a break sometimes,
Yeah, I get that. And sometimes you can't help it. Sometimes you're out too late and you didn't plan it right. And you're like, all right.
Or I forgot to pick up the ingredient on the way home and,
Andrea ends up going to the store a lot for like the one thing that I'm missing. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to start cooking dinner and you bring me that thing and then I'll get it in there. So,
yeah, that happens a lot.
But, yeah, it's kind of unfortunate.
Yeah, and whenever we travel, I love to just experience the cultures and the flavors of the cultures. Short story, when we were in Spain, in Spain, they have a siesta where everything closes down for a couple hours right in the middle of the
Such a
day.
beautiful way to live.
It is, except when you're really hungry.
Yeah, okay.
And we did this whole tour of the Sagrada Familia, and we're walking around. Everything is closed. I'm starving, of course, because I'm always hungry.
The restaurants are closed too during that time?
A lot of them are.
I
Like
would've
you're
thought
just
that they'd
because
be,
it's like
like,
during the
open.
hottest part of the day.
Yeah.
And so we find this little tiny restaurant, and they have tapas and sangria. And we're like, cool, let's go in there. So we go in there, and everyone told us to eat the boquerón. You have to try the boquerón, and which is like a deep fried sardine.
Okay.
And we're like, okay, cool. This place, we're drinking the sangria, and they have all the tapas, and you can kind of pick what you want. And I see the sardines, and so I get like 2 of those and everything else, and I cut the head off of it, and there's video of this, and I'm like down the hatch, and I eat the sardine head, and the bones get like stuck in my mouth.
Oh.
Have you ever eaten something so bad that you can't swallow it and you really want to like spit it back out?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that happened, and I could not, but my husband was videoing it, so I didn't want to spit it out because that would be gross. So I'm just chugging sangria, trying to get it down, and it's like stuck in there. And then the little shop owner, he doesn't speak any English. He runs over, no, 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 no. And he shows me that you're not supposed to eat the head, and you're supposed to kind of like fillet it. And I just didn't realize, I guess, that the bones were still in it. I don't know.
Don't you eat sardines whole? Isn't that how you do it?
I
Like
guess not
canned
the
sardines,
head.
right?
Yeah, I don't know. This was something I wasn't supposed to eat.
Oh, gross.
And I just did it anyway.
Wow.
But it was fine. I'm still alive, so
Yeah.
it's all right. And also in Spain, I learned how to prepare a cuttlefish and remove the ink sac, and then use the ink sac in paella.
Wow.
I thought it was going to be like super fancy and come back from Spain because I got the special paella pan, and I brought back the rice, and I go to our local shrimp dock, and I want all the things, and I'm going down my list, and I said, and a cuttlefish. I realized you probably only have that frozen, but I'm cool. I know how to prepare the cuttlefish. And they looked at me, and they kind of were like laughing. I was like, what? I want to, be as authentic as possible. And he said, the only place you're going to find a cuttlefish here is at the pet store.
Really?
Yeah. So, I have not ever worked with another cuttlefish.
They don't fish for them here? Well, you could have just gone to the pet store then.
No, that was a bit, that would be extreme.
Yeah.
That would be extreme.
Do you,
Yeah,
when you
so-
do crab, do you do them like from live and you kill them before you cook them? Or like, I was just hearing about this yesterday, that there's like a couple different ways that people, like some people are really religious about like you have to boil them from alive.
Live, yeah.
Or there's another way where you use a knife and you're supposed to kill them in like 6 seconds or something like
Right,
that.
like down, yeah. I've not honestly partaken in any of that. I don't know. I guess I haven't had the event
Right.
to do it. Usually whenever I'm just usually getting crab legs around here.
Right.
And they've been frozen. But
Well, I always wonder in those grocery stores when you see those like real murky lobster
oh yeah, I've not
ponds, and you're like, do people buy those? Does someone come in and say like, that looks like good
I'll
lobster?
take that guy right there.
It's definitely not sick from living in this one square foot.
on top of each other.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Yeah. No, I've not done that. I could. I wouldn't have a problem dipping a lobster into a hot pot.
No.
But also just like from the local. Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird.
It is.
It's weird. I've been to small towns where there's like lobster tanks. And you're like, who is buying that?
Yeah.
I don't understand.
It's gotta, yeah, I don't know. Maybe is it like restaurant? I don't know.
Would that
Like the
actually
Red
taste
Lobster?
better than frozen lobster?
I mean,
Is there any way that would taste better?
I don't know.
It's gotta be so sick in there. That's gotta be.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't think it's the best environment for the lobster
No.
to hang out.
No. I think about that a lot. This is a big thing for me. I don't know if it is for you, but I'm also really big into farmers markets. And I've talked about it a lot on the podcast because I definitely think that like the environment that an animal lives in while it's alive for sure affects the flavor, but also affects the nutritional content of what it is
I'm
that
sure. Oh,
you're
absolutely.
eating. And so like we were just staying on a farm in Wisconsin, and those were happy cows. Like I saw those cows walking around fields.
Like they had
all day.
smiles. They
Oh
were
yeah, these
living their
cows,
best life.
Absolutely.
Love it.
And so now, and they gave us a bunch of beef. Well, we bought we bought a bunch of beef. They
Mm-hmm.
gave me the family rate, and
Nice.
now I'm just stocked with all this certainly happy frozen beef, and
Yeah.
we've been
And which
enjoying
makes
that.
you happy in turn.
It does make me happy. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think it definitely has an effect for sure.
It matters.
It has to.
I think that's my
It
big
has
thing with
to.
restaurants too. That's why, because I love eating meat, and I will want to get
Mhm.
meat if we're having dinner. I'm getting meat,
Yeah.
and if I don't know where that cow came from, and you're giving me this burger, I'm like, oh, I
Ooh.
could have just made my own and gone to the farmer's
Right.
market and felt a
Yeah.
lot better
No,
about
I mean,
this.
I guess I definitely think about it, but it also doesn't deter me. You know,
Yeah,
we do have some really good butcher shops around here, and the meats are phenomenal. So,
right. And I don't mean to
and
act like a saint either, because
yeah,
I fuck up all the time,
yeah.
like I do. That was the thing. So driving down here to Tennessee, I haven't gotten to tell a story yet, but it's lovely.
Yeah, tell us.
So we're driving from Indiana down here,
Hmm.
and RVs go over bumps, but
Yeah,
we go over lots of bumps, and
sure.
everything usually turns out fine. We
Uh-oh.
stopped. It's about a 9-hour drive. We stopped maybe 2-3 hours in. We had to pee. We went back to the back and realized that one of the cabinets must have opened.
Oh dear.
And we start looking, and a giant glass full bottle of olive oil
Oh
has fallen out of a
dear.
cabinet and shattered glass and olive oil
Oh
all over
no.
the floor of our RV.
Ugh.
And so we're like
Olive
cleaning
oil,
up.
all things.
Yeah, I know. We're cleaning up glass and olive
Oh,
oil. And we're just like, how can we literally just need to clean up enough to get where we're going.
right.
And we'll deal with all the soap and the real deep clean when we
Yep,
get
yep.
there. But it was just a
I bet
nightmare.
it was so slippery.
It was. It
It was like a
still is.
hazard.
It still is. I mean, because it's just one of those things. We just have to like continually wash it a few more times, and
Yeah.
eventually. But it was just nonsense. But
Ugh.
that is the real downside of
You
cooking.
need
But
some do you have those clips on your cabinets that
it's
like the kid clips
so RV cabinets are built in. They
with one?
clip shut.
Yeah, I would
They
think so.
they lock shut. And we used to put some painter's tape over them just for an extra sort of
Yep.
security on the old RV. But on this one, they felt real solid. And
Mm.
I'm certain that this was a total fluke.
Okay, like
So I'm
maybe you
not.
just didn't have it clipped,
Ye-
like you didn't have it clicked shut.
I don't know. Or
Mm.
we just went over a terrible bump because I also had
True.
a big Pyrex bowl shatter, and
Really?
one
I
of
didn't
the
know Pyrex was
I
supposed to
know.
like that.
I know it's never done it before,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
we had a
Pyrex, are you
shelf.
listening?
They need to fix that one up. We had a shelf in our fridge too that was a glass shelf, and it also shattered. And so I'm thinking we must have hit a bump that I didn't even feel
Yeah.
to break that many things.
Or I wonder if something could have fallen. Is it a situation where something
Yeah,
could have
kind of.
fallen on it? Like
Kind
maybe
of.
the olive oil was so heavy that it in turn,
I think that was also part of the problem
like,
too.
yeah.
Because in that cabinet we have like a second shelf, and
Yeah, it was
I
a
think it
domino
collapsed.
effect.
So
Bummer.
yeah, nonsense. But that all that to say, I'm no saint when it comes to meat because we got here and it was super late,
Yeah.
and we were like, this day is screwed. So
Mm.
you know what? Let's go get some Taco Bell, and I'll still get Taco
Nice.
Bell
Oh, yes.
any day.
What now? Tell me, what do you get at the Taco Bell?
I like the chicken burritos. The
Mm.
grilled chicken burrito is where I live because they
Where's
put this
that?
really good like avocado ranch dressing on it
Oh,
or something like that.
man,
And
yes.
when we sin good. We
Well,
really go for it.
I mean, yeah, it's all or nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you live that harsh, like, and we do,
Yeah.
then
It's one extreme or the I mean, you can't be
get some
perfect
Taco
all the time.
Andrew, she made me mad though because she got they do those like power bowls now, which are like,
What?
I know it's
That just
it's
seems
their
like-
healthy option.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And
No.
she got the bean power bowl, so it's like she got it from Chipotle. Like it's a pretty quality
Really?
meal, and I was
All
like,
right. Okay. Well,
so she
maybe
didn't
I'll
go to
have
the
give it
dark
a
side
try.
with me.
Yeah. No, I'm like crunchy beef taco and
Oh, yeah.
bean burrito.
Yes, because if you're gonna
Extra
go for
sauce,
it,
please.
and that's my thing too, is if you're going to a restaurant, at least get something you can't cook. Like I can't
Right.
cook that
No,
because
never.
it's not real food, so I
Right.
can't cook it.
Right. I mean, they just squeeze the meat in there,
Yeah,
and it's
what is
like,
that? The pink slime stuff?
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
These are beans? Sure.
sure.
Okay,
These
I'll
are
eat them.
yeah, they kind of taste like what beans might taste like in the
Might.
future.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's cool. I'll take 2.
yeah. But but driving through the drive-through, someone behind us was getting like a Mountain
entire
Dew
menu?
at
Oh.
10:30 p.m.
Whoa.
Yeah, I don't mess
you
with
were,
that.
You were in Pigeon Forge.
Yeah, we were in
You were
Pigeon
in
Forge.
when you
That
got-
town is a big. I can't remember what I've said now on the podcast or which is what I just told you when we came in.
Oh,
I
yeah.
didn't know the town was a theme park. That's all. I
Yeah,
had no
there's
idea.
a lot of attractions. I mean, people love it though. Like if it's your jam,
Yeah,
like I mean, shopping, so many outlet malls. I mean, tons of stuff to do if you do have kids.
yeah.
You
If that's
know,
your thing.
put and,
Go to Pigeon
and
Forge
all
for
that.
sure.
Yeah.
And if it's not, I think that we found that the other side. I don't know which direction I'm thinking of here because I barely know the map, but I think it was just a bit west of Pigeon Forge. It was like there's a lot of open land and there was good camping space and you're closer to the park and everything.
Yeah.
So I think we'll know how to do it right next time.
Yeah, there you go.
But Knoxville is gorgeous, which I haven't spent hardly any time here, but even just driving through, I was like, wow. And the area you guys are at is phenomenal. It's awesome out here.
Yeah, we're really lucky. We're in the city, but we're in an older neighborhood, and so we do have land and property, so we're not like right on top of each other,
Right.
which is really nice.
What's the body of water that I was driving next to?
That would have been the Tennessee River.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah.
I believe
There's also Norris Lake, but that's in the other that would be, and there's that river goes right down to the football stadium. So we have what we call the Vol Navy. We are the Tennessee Volunteers here. We're huge. We're only from my house. We're only 7 miles from campus. So huge college town. Our football team has not been good in a few years, but we still love them. Because
Are they doing football this year?
Yes, we are part of the SEC, and so
SEC is on.
It's on.
You can't cancel SEC.
It's on. No,
that was never going to happen.
That was never going to happen. It's live, breathe, drink, die. Football around here.
People would literally die for their football.
They would. They probably have.
Even if we found out COVID was far worse than we had thought originally,
there would be
football.
There would be some football.
Right.
Yeah.
As it is, it's just so dicey. It's just so hard to tell what is the right move with all of this.
I know.
I can't blame anybody for anything that they're doing. I just can't.
Right. I mean, you just have to. I think we're at a point where you have to do what's right for your family and your personal situation.
But isn't that? But we're all acting like that's so strange. But that's just life, isn't it? I mean, we don't accept certain amounts of risk. Like if you don't accept the risk of like, all right, literally commuting 2 hours a day into Washington D.C. and you live in the suburbs is a dangerous commute. A lot of people die doing that, for sure. Probably kills more people than COVID statistically.
Wow.
But some people opt to do that. They say, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to drive those 2 hours every day. It'll be dicey, and I'm taking that risk, and that's how I'm going to earn for my family, whatever. And we say, great, you can take that risk. But I think that's the thing. If it was like, if the only danger was that COVID would endanger you, that's one thing. But the problem is that it's endangering more people than just you.
Right.
That's why helmet laws. I think of helmet laws a lot. Like motorcycle helmet laws in different states. A lot of states you do not have to wear a helmet while you're riding, but some you do.
Right.
And the thing is, if you decide not to wear a helmet on a motorcycle, you're really only endangering yourself. I can't imagine a situation where not wearing a helmet would endanger the other party.
Someone
in an
else.
accident.
Right.
No, it's just you.
Right.
Although you would give someone a bunch of trauma at the same time.
You would, yes.
Because if
your head split open and your wife, the
kids are in the car and you hit a motorcyclist.
True, yes.
One situation is their bike is totaled and they're real mad, but they have a helmet on, they're living, and the other situation is not very pretty.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, true. Yeah, no. I know where you're going with that. And, I don't know. I don't know. I'm
either.
ready for it to be a thing of the past.
When though?
I know. And everyone is like, oh, 2020, the worst year ever. And I'm like, but it's just a day. Like just because the calendar switches to 2021 doesn't mean anything is going to change.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so I'm just like, this could go on indefinitely. I am glad though that the world is starting to reopen. I love to travel, and I hate not being able to just pick up and go where I want to go, when I want to go there.
What's the next trip that you're looking forward to?
We haven't even planned anything. We were supposed to go to Hawaii in my birthday. I turned 40 April 1st. And we were supposed to go to Hawaii for 2 weeks. Really?
I'm April 2nd.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but you were
Fellow
the actual
Aries.
April Fool's baby.
I was April Fool's. Yep. So, and that was right when the whole world shut down.
Yeah.
And so now we can't really plan anything because who knows? I mean, you have to plan like a week out at most.
Yeah. Andrea and I got really lucky when we got married because we got married in August of 19.
Okay.
So, is that right? The years are getting scrambly.
I know. Yeah, that would just be last August. So you just been married 1 year.
Right.
Yeah.
And got married and went on the road. And so our whole family was able to come to our wedding. However, we have friends who are the same age as us and trying to get married who keep having to postpone, and grandma's not coming, and grandpa's not coming.
I know.
I feel really grateful, honestly, that we picked the time that we did.
Oh, I'm sure.
And I didn't know it. And it's funny. It's actually even fun because, I proposed to her and everything. We've been together for coming on 8 years now. So she knew I was going to ask her to marry me, but we still did the traditional thing where I proposed. And you don't know when you're setting up to propose to someone what that means. You're like, well, we're in this great relationship. I could do it now or I could wait. It's fine.
Right.
And now I'm like, oh my God, thank God I did that.
Didn't wait. Yeah.
Right?
For sure. Yeah.
Dodged a big bullet because
You
now
did.
what are you going to do? Like get engaged now, get engaged during a pandemic, and everybody's focused on pandemics and elections and no one really cares that you got like, you know what I mean? It was nice that
it was out of the way.
It was out of
so to speak. Even, no, I get it. I know I have several friends who, some have just decided to just do it and make it small and it is what it is. And then some have postponed for a year.
Yeah.
So, I don't know what you do, but I too am glad that I don't have that problem to worry about.
Right. What do you eat when you're in Hawaii? Have you been to Hawaii before?
I've not.
Oh, no.
I've never been.
Okay.
Poke bowl? I don't know.
Oh, yeah. Like a poke bowl?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Am I saying it wrong?
I don't know. Maybe I probably said it wrong.
But I love those things.
I'm really bad at saying things wrong.
Me too. Me too.
Cool.
Oh, well, how could I not? Like, that's what I actually need podcast guests to help me pronounce local things correctly, because if I look at it on a map, I'm going to say it wrong.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I always say it wrong.
Yeah.
There's a place called Helsinki.
Okay.
And I called it Helsinki because that's how it looks. Or no, it's pronounced. The name of the town is Helsinki.
Like Finland?
Yes, but I'm like, who would name a place Helsinki?
Oh, sure.
So I'm saying it Helsinki.
Okay.
Yeah, and I worked at a travel agency, and they're like, no, dear, no, it's Helsinki.
I do it all the time,
okay.
and I also do it for the internet, and it'll be out there forever me mispronouncing things.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Take me as I am. I say things wrong.
Well, and also it's not like if someone was like, oh, it's actually pronounced like this, and I'd be like, shut up, no, it's not.
Right.
It's like, no, I'll be like, great. Oh, now I've learned a new thing.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I think, but we have such a I don't know, we have such a tendency to judge exactly what a person is doing with so little empathy to the idea that like they need to learn something. Yeah, it's fine. But I think that I worry about people getting divided in that way, because I think that when we shut that level of empathy off and it's just like, oh, here's an opportunity for me to help somebody out,
they turn it into a negative.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's really sad.
And we both could be saying it wrong, by the way.
True, exactly. We could both be wrong.
Someone's like, you white people, what are you doing? That's not how we say it.
Yeah.
I love those things. Ooh, like some fresh fish on there.
Yeah.
And they do all the pineapple sauces and things like that.
I know. I was looking at taking 2 different cooking classes.
I'm sorry.
And first world problems. It's fine.
How do you pick a place that you're gonna go eat? How do you know how to weed out, especially internationally?
Like traveling?
Yeah.
Maybe ask some. We stay in a lot of like Airbnbs, and
That's a good way
maybe
to
I'll
do it.
ask the owner of the Airbnb, hey, what is like the best local non-touristy place? I worked at a travel agency for a long time, and so I do have a lot of friends in the travel world who have been everywhere.
Yeah.
And so sometimes I'll get advice. Or, a lot of times, sometimes you will find the best restaurant just meandering around, and you just stumble upon it. You just kind of, you're like, oh, look at this place. It's cool. It's happening, a good vibe, and, sometimes it's not very planned. I don't plan a lot of like the dinners and that kind of stuff. I just kind of go with whatever I'm feeling.
Yeah.
And I love street food. That's honestly like my favorite thing. My husband does a lot of work in Puerto Rico, so we go there a lot. And some of the best chicken I've ever had is from the back of some dude's pickup truck.
Right.
Literally. He just like has a grill set up on there making some guava pinchos, and I'm like, bring it on.
That's super cool.
Yeah. And they're just like serving rice and beans out of like some cooler. I'm like, yes, all of it, please.
That's what I like about riding a motorcycle in particular, because when you ride around, you get to smell, like especially barbecue.
Yes.
You can ride around to the barbecue restaurants and be like, that's calling to me. Something in there is happening. That's correct.
I like it.
That's kind of a good way to do it. But when you lock yourself in a car, it's not quite the same thing. You're not noticing as much happening on the side of the road, and it's just a totally different thing. But I guess that's how I wander around. Because I don't know. Sometimes you just smell something. You're like,
You're
that's
like,
it.
you just like follow
There's
your
magic there.
nose.
And
Yeah.
sometimes, and I can't trust Google reviews anymore.
No, absolutely not.
I've tried.
If you Googled the best restaurants in Knoxville, I guarantee you it's not where I would tell you to go.
Yeah, you got to ask a local. I think the
You have
Airbnb
to.
thing is a good way to go.
Yeah.
We went to this place in Virginia that was like the #1 barbecue restaurant. Like the reviews were insane. There were
Right.
thousands
You're
of
like, it's
5-star
gotta
reviews.
be.
I was like, oh my gosh, it's gonna be incredible.
Yeah.
I I think it's incredibly rude to like go to a restaurant and be like, I'm not gonna eat this. That's what we did.
Oh no.
I'm not kidding. It was the
Really?
worst
It was
meal
so
I've ever
bad?
had. That I was, and I'm a nice dude. And I went up to the manager. I was like, hey man,
I can't
this
really
is
see you
really
as like
bad.
a complaining kind
No,
of guy.
I'm not. And you know what? If he had been like, screw you, get out of here, I'd have been like, all right. But I was like, hey man, this is really bad. I would like my money back. Like honestly, this
Whoa.
is And I felt like a douchebag, but it was terrible.
It was so bad. What did you get?
I just had some brisket. It was literally
people can mess up.
they messed it up bad.
Was it dry? Was it all fatty?
It was but it was one of the ones that, first of all, if I'm remembering right, well, I had a brisket, Andrew had pulled pork, and I was like, well, one of these would be good, right?
Yeah.
First of all, it's that kind of barbecue I don't love. That's like boiled basically, so it's like in real liquid. So it's definitely
so they
not
didn't
been
like
smoked.
crisp it up under a broiler or anything.
Nope, and it was just like super dry. The taste was like off. I was like, this is not right. So yeah, no.
So what did the guy do? Was he?
No, he was nice. I mean, he gave us our money back, and it's I've literally never done that ever in my life. That's how I know it was that bad. I was like, wow, bud, like I'm not gonna eat this.
Yeah.
And it had thousands of 5-star reviews, and I can't account for that. I have no idea, but
like who these people are.
Yeah.
Wow. Well,
but
we tried.
Well,
you win some,
buy
you lose
reviews.
some. Yeah.
I think that's what was happening. I think they're buying.
They easily could.
There's server farms and
Yep.
places where literally you just pay 1,000 people to go leave 5-star reviews on your stuff, and it's actually terrible. And
was it busy? Was the restaurant busy?
Oh, that was another.
That's another sign.
Yeah, but it was kind of late and it was like raining, so I thought, all right, maybe.
Yeah.
Because that's the other thing too, is if you walk in, old people, I like you, but when I go to a restaurant, it's just old people. I'm like, this is a little dicey.
Yeah.
And I think that's a normal thing actually, because when you get older, your taste buds change.
Yep.
And
so
you
lose them.
Right.
They become not as intense.
And food is just like anything else. Food could be like fashion, where it's like there are things that were good that remind you of something you were eating when you were a kid.
Sure.
And then there's things that I'm gonna like because it's kind of the new way we're doing food.
Yep.
And so sometimes there's indicators like that, but I don't know. I try not to be super prejudiced, but I still will look around and be like, uh-oh.
Yeah. Oh no. I mean, I think we all are to that.
Well, that's how we
bit.
that's how we use some type of judgment to say whether we think this is going to be a good experience or not before you invest in the steak that's $50.
Right, exactly.
Look around.
Yeah.
How does it look?
Yep. No.
How's that guys at that table look?
Oh yeah. I definitely am like looking around to see what everybody.
You know what? I'll just stick with the beer today. I think we're just gonna
just drinks. Right. Just drinks.
We have done that too. Go to a restaurant and just order some drinks, and then you look at the menu and like, this looks terrible.
Terrible. Yeah. I think I have done that before too.
But that's us. That's you and me. We're picky eaters. We're super tasters.
We are super tasters, and so we just want to like give our taste buds what they need.
Yeah.
We want to make them happy.
Andrea's gonna hear no end of this of me talking about how I'm a super taster now. It's a big ego thing for me.
Hey, I'm glad that we could assist in that today.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you very
my
much.
pleasure.
Yeah, because she'll eat anything. So.
Oh, will she?
Yeah, for sure.
That's like my husband. It's like whatever I feed him, he's just like.
Well, she'll eat like. She's super German, and so she's got a real German palate.
Oh,
and so
okay.
she'll eat sauerkraut out of the jar.
Oh, wow.
Which I would never.
I would probably need it like heated up at least.
But wouldn't you
With
want
some
it like
brown sugar and all that jazz?
Maybe, yeah,
seed or
maybe
something.
it's pretty sour. It's pretty. I
do like sauerkraut with mashed potatoes.
Do you get into kimchi at all?
Yeah, I like kimchi for sure. Yeah.
That's a weird one because it stinks.
Yeah, but
I mean, awful. But then when you like it, it smells good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like coffee, probably. Like some people just can't stand coffee.
That's weird.
But
I don't know who those people are.
Well,
I don't keep those people.
I
associate
a little bit with it. No, I got turned around on coffee. I had a guest on.
Oh, you don't like coffee?
No, I like coffee.
Oh.
I do like coffee, but I can't handle it. My stomach can't handle it.
Oh, maybe you need a low.
Well,
acid.
I did that. I know is a thing. I haven't tried it yet, but I did an episode with Tegan and Bryce Sturmer of when I was up in Michigan, and they have a coffee place up there called Velodrome Coffee Company, and Bryce said try decaf because apparently the caffeine can really mess with someone with a sensitive stomach. And so now Andrew and I are drinking decaf, which is kind of nice. Like I don't know why it feels like I'm doing this. This feels useless because it's not like.
But it still has caffeine in it. Even decaf has some.
Has some, sure.
Yeah, just like minimal,
Right.
I guess, compared.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think it's just nice to just like sit down. There's something ritualistic that I really appreciate.
Yes.
But like, okay, I made us some coffee and let's sit and we'll talk and there's a hot drink and
Relax.
yeah. And I'm a tea fiend, so that works too. So
Yeah. I mean, I don't like to do anything. I never used to be this way, but now like that first sip of coffee like literally gives me life. Like I can feel it going through every
sure.
piece of my body.
That sounds like an addiction.
It probably is.
Right.
I mean, there are worse things to be addicted to.
There are absolutely
So,
worse things.
I'm
to be
okay with
addicted
it. I don't do like sodas or anything.
Okay.
Well, I take that back. Every once in a while, I do like a cherry Pepsi if we go to the movies because it's fountain cherry Pepsi. Ugh,
That does it
I'm
for
here
you.
for it. Ugh.
But it's also partially because you're at the movie, right? It's like this is what I want at a movie. I
Right.
want terrible buttery popcorn with
With a cherry.
vegetable oil and a cherry Coke.
Yep.
Or
Yeah,
cherry
pretty
Pepsi.
much. Yep. Cherry Pepsi. Yeah, it's cherry Pepsi at the movies.
Do they do cherry Coke still?
Probably.
They did at one point, didn't they?
Oh yeah, I mean the little cans for
Yeah.
sure. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like how we ended up talking about soda. This is so off kilter, but that's what I love about this podcast is it's just like thoughts on soda.
Yeah.
Are you a coffee snob? Like, do you prepare it in really certain ways? And
No.
I would think that'd be part of your MO. Like, you
Really?
need it. Well, yeah. I mean,
Nah, I'm like high low, I guess. Like some things I'm gonna go all out for. Other things, no. I'm like regular old medium roast Dunkin' Donut.
okay. Yeah. Just
You know,
coffee.
well, just coffee.
Diner coffee.
Just coffee.
I love a good, like, burnt diner coffee.
No, I don't like it burnt.
Oh, no. Well, then you're missing out on something.
I used to drink, but again, it gave my husband really bad heartburn. Was the Cafe Du Monde from Louisiana?
Oh.
Cafe Du Monde.
Oh,
with
yeah,
the
that's the place with
beignets.
beignets. Yeah.
mhm.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah, and I could get the coffee around here, or you could order it online. I would get it like 6 cans at a time.
Really?
But the chicory in it is what I think would give Mike heartburn. So
That's interesting.
we switched to the Dunkin'.
Have you tried the mushroom coffee yet?
No, I have not.
That's the
But I'm
next
seeing
big thing.
everybody's doing it.
I'm
Yeah.
going to give it a shot, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
Let me know what you think.
Yeah, well, I've heard mixed reviews because some
Mhm.
people say it tastes like coffee. It's mixed with coffee beans, tastes like coffee.
Yeah.
And mushrooms are obviously crazy good for you.
Mhm.
So I think I'm going to give it a shot. I haven't found a good decaf one yet. I'm not really
Okay.
interested. I don't really want to start a caffeine habit since
Yeah.
I don't currently have one.
Right.
I'm fine without that.
Yeah, it's probably best.
It's sober October anyways, so I'm off caffeine for the month.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And everything else?
I'm off
Or-
caffeine and I'm off alcohol.
Oh, wow,
This
for
is
the whole
what I've
month.
done for the month.
Good
yeah.
for you.
Yeah.
Now, will you go back after
You know
November
what's-
1?
I was
will
just
you try
talking to my parents about it yesterday, and first I had to be like, all right, I don't have a drinking problem, parents.
Mhm.
But at the same time, I can't think of, since I started drinking, which was before I was 21, I can't think of a time where I wouldn't have had an alcoholic drink for a period of a month. Because it's a weird
Oh.
period, maybe a couple
Mhm.
weeks,
Yeah.
whatever. But
sure.
at some point, there's going to be a weekend, there's going to be the
An
right
event.
dinner, you want a glass of
Yeah,
wine with,
for sure.
whatever. So I was like, this is strange. But since I started drinking, I can't think that I've done 30 days.
That's a solid point.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I could probably fall right in line with that.
Yeah. It hasn't been hard because I obviously don't have an alcohol dependence. But the one thing is, if I make a meal that demands a glass of wine, I go
Yes.
crazy. Like I do this Mediterranean bowl, and it really needs a
Mm.
glass of wine with it. It's got
Mhm.
balsamic and cherry tomatoes and
Oh,
all these things.
yum.
And I'm like, this
Yes.
needs wine. Or even opening the beer to make the beer brats.
Brats. You just like want to take a chug.
I thought
Just
it was going to be fine, and I
Uh-huh.
smelled that beer, and I was like, I
like,
really feel
damn.
like that would hit the spot.
Yeah, it probably would have.
It absolutely would have.
Yeah,
it would have been
ice cold.
phenomenal.
With those brats.
I know.
It seems like a sin kind of that you didn't.
I think so too, but I don't know. But it's a good challenge. Another guy I did a previous podcast with. What I like about this podcast is that they all just sort of like become pieces of this big story that
Yeah.
I'm writing. So Andrew Hatlevig was on the podcast up in Wisconsin, and he is big into like natural health, and we got into all sorts of aliens and great
Wow.
stuff.
Okay. Yeah.
But he told me he was doing it, and I was like, well, if you're doing it, I have to do it
You have to
now.
just like see.
And you have to have a buddy. Like you have to have someone you can text and be like, all right, man, I did it.
Dude, I
Like,
really want a drink. What are you doing? Like, how are you? Not.
right. But he's got way more self-control than me, so he's fine. He's not even worried about it.
Yeah, that just doesn't sound like something I want to do.
Just a sober October, a full month off. Because you'd have to
No,
quit the coffee too.
Really? Like, why? I
Well,
don't
you're
know.
not sober if you're having coffee.
Really?
I think, you know what I think
Because
it really
I know,
is?
because caffeine is a drug because it changes your
addictive.
natural behavior, right?
Right.
Anything that changes your natural way of
Right.
living
Right.
is a drug, technically.
But what I think is, I think the challenge is to take a month off of the thing that you are maybe developing a dependence on. Like the thing that you feel like, I don't need it, but like, I really, really want it.
Yeah.
Maybe that starts to turn into, I need it.
Yeah.
And so I think that's the challenge. So if it's coffee and you're like, I get up and that's,
My
I
thing.
can feel it through my body. Like you're describing it like heroin.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's a gateway drug. I don't know, but
It's so hard to say.
I mean, haven't you've had something that you've had a sip of it or a bite of it, and it like kind of just fills you with life.
That's still coffee for me. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
even if it's,
I don't want to give it up though.
yeah,
I don't really have a desire to give it up.
right. Interesting. Interesting how it does that to the brain, isn't it?
I would give up my red wine before I would give up the coffee.
Well, I think that was so obviously it wasn't hard for me to give up caffeine for this month, but alcohol, yeah, like I'm missing wine and I'm missing beer and it's fall and I really want a good Oktoberfest beer.
Yes, all
with
the
my
new
brats.
flavors come out.
I
and
know.
all that.
I know pumpkin beer is happening. I'm
It's
gonna
a
miss the
thing,
whole
I
pumpkin beer
guess.
thing.
Yes, well, it's probably not a shame to be honest, but
You don't like pumpkin beer?
I mean, I
It's
don't
too
know.
sweet.
Everything is so pumpkin-y.
Yeah. You don't do like a PSL? You prefer your Dunkin' Donuts?
No, I just like plain. I don't do flavored
Yeah.
coffee.
Well, that's probably really good. Like when you look at the ingredients list of like a Starbucks latte, it's dicey.
Yeah, I mean,
Lot of
okay,
weird
so I
stuff.
will do a one pump vanilla latte occasionally from the Bucks if I'm desperate.
Well, sure. And I don't
But-
mean to attack or anything.
That's
like
okay.
Because
Nah.
I admitted my Taco Bell.
Oh, yeah.
I just yeah. But I think it's just about giving up something that you don't want to give up for a month, and it's weird.
Yeah, well, maybe one day I could try it.
Yeah, yeah. Give it a shot one day. There's always next October.
Right. Or I could just pick random November.
You could pick November.
Yeah.
No wine November.
Oh, there we go.
Decently sober December.
See, look at you.
Jump on board with sobriety January. That one was a long.
That's
phrase.
a long, yeah, we'd have to acronym that one.
Right. You got to work on that one. But just off the top of my head, if you can do it that quickly, then you can definitely make it happen.
Yeah. Well,
Fall on the wagon February.
hey, look at you.
Yeah. I'm going to stop now.
Okay.
Because I'll do them all.
All
I'll
the,
make you
in
sit
the
here
entire
while I
year.
do-
Yeah, we should probably write these down.
Yeah. Well, they're recorded. They're in posterity.
True.
They'll be on the internet.
Forever.
Forever.
Yeah,
What were we talking
so
about?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I don't know how we got here.
We were talking coffee,
Oh, right. Yes.
which is just a kind of a dangerous thing. But I really want you to do a video series, like, by the way.
okay.
I think I would watch and I'd be really
Like
stoked about it.
what whenever you were watching, just like feedback for me, what were you like, oh, that's cool that she made that, or oh, I liked hearing about that.
Well, first of all, you
or
did the one that you did for the, what is it, the Knoxville something?
Knoxville Weekend.
Knoxville
It was like
Weekend?
a lifestyle media
Right.
channel.
The one you did for that one, I thought it was really cool because you had the leaves and you were like wrapping something.
Oh,
It was
the
like a
pandan
Thai
leaf
dish.
from Thailand.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so but I think that's the key thing is like you have to do something that no one else is doing. Like you need to do something that's different.
Mhm.
And so if for you that's like things from your travels that turn into your recipes and then someone like me gets to try my hand at Thai food, great. Like
Yeah.
that I think would be
And that's
really
kind of
fantastic.
my POV, as they say in the business. I like to do recipes that they're not complicated, but they're not boring either. And yes, it might take a trip to the Asian market, but I've sourced them all locally, so it's not like anything that you can't get. And so much.
And you should go to the
online
Asian
now.
market, by the way.
Anyway, I mean, it is an adventure.
Yeah.
If somebody wants a friend to go with them, I'm happy to do so. I have a friend, Alyssa. She is from Vietnam, and she is actually the one that introduced me to the Asian market. And she took me the first time and kind of gave me a tour. And so now I'm like super comfortable, love it. It's
Yeah,
like
if you walk in there, it can be a little overwhelming. Like you're looking
the
at
smells,
things, you
the
have no idea.
things. Yes.
You can't read the labels.
Yes, but everyone in there is so kind and so helpful that it's not really intimidating.
Right.
And
Well, if you're in Knoxville, I'm certain that there is a good Asian population here,
mhm,
but I imagine that you
yes,
don't set up shop only for Asian people for an Asian market in
market,
Knoxville.
right.
You're expecting that you're going to have people who are English speakers coming into your store. Like
Oh yeah.
you want to cater to people to be like, try this food.
Oh
This
yeah. I
is
mean,
like
we have like 3 Asian markets that I know of.
that's super cool.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we're actually for like a smaller city, I guess. We have a lot of international type grocery stores and markets, and I like going into the mall and just trying things. And I went to the Middle Eastern grocery store, and because I wanted to try a new recipe, manakaish, from my
What is
friend.
that?
It's like a homemade dough. It's sort of like a pizza, if you will. And I wanted it to be as authentic as possible. And my friend Rania, it's her recipe, and she. So I just went in there. I had never been in the store before, and I'm just like, "Hey, I'm here. I don't know. I need these ingredients." And they're so excited to help you,
Right.
because that's their culture and that's what they love.
Yes.
And the owner ended up giving me like free flour, and I mean, the cheeses are amazing, and so I love trying new flavors. I love it. So
Yeah. I
yeah.
mean, that's the great thing about cultures and international cultures and
Mhm.
food. And it's like you want to embrace the ability for us to all try things of all types of different cultures and
Yes, I want to eat everywhere.
eat the world.
I do. I want to eat the world.
If we could all get behind that, like try this thing from
Right?
where I am from, and like
Yes.
that's a
Like
great way to
we
connect.
used to have so many different international festivals here, and I'm like, I want to try one of everything that's available.
Have you eaten like insects at all? Do you go down the
Um,
bugs path?
I mean, I think I've had like crickets. I mean, I would if there was an opportunity,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah.
That is the interesting thing because we do consider we don't consider rather that most of the world is eating insects. Like
Yeah.
and we just don't for whatever
Don't.
reason.
Yeah. Probably just out of necessity. We just didn't need to,
Right.
I would imagine, is how
Right.
we got away from that.
But now it's become ingrained in cultures and so that is the dish. Like there's insects all over the place.
Yeah, I
even
don't
in
know
like
how I'd feel about a spider.
yeah, that would mess with me. Like a tarantula or something
Yeah, yeah, no, no, no,
especially.
no, no. Yeah, no.
It's still
Maybe
fuzzy.
no, no, it'd have to be like battered and deep fried or something.
So you can't tell what it is.
Exactly.
It's like, oh, it tastes like chicken.
Yes.
It always is like chicken for whatever reason.
Always.
That's
I
not
know.
cool.
That's like the default.
Maybe they're not super tasters like us.
That true.
So you taste something and you're like, oh, that's like chicken.
But not. We would know.
We would know.
We
We
would
would
know.
be like, that's spider, and I've never had a spider. That's centipede.
That is definitely.
Never had a centipede.
Yep. No, I haven't either.
Not those of us, the few, the brave, the super taster.
Yes.
Oh God, that's a bad.
Yeah.
I should have made that comparison, but it's okay. Because I'm definitely not like I definitely think there's someone who would put that strip on their tongue and be like, I'm out. Like that is so bad that just ruined my whole day.
The whole day.
Like,
Yeah.
for
I'm
sure.
sure. Oh, I'm sure.
For sure, I'm like a 5. Like
Yeah.
there's someone who's a 10, and his name's Gordon Ramsay, and he
Yeah.
knows everything. Who is your favorite TV chef?
Oh gosh. I don't know that I have just one because I love the different styles of people, of chefs. I grew up watching, I've always loved Giada and her style and
Okay.
how she's just so like calm and relaxed. And I love how she'll mozzarella. I mean, I love it when she like goes into an accent. I love Ina Garden. This one is really kind of off topic,
It's out there.
so, I love Thai food.
Okay.
And I love actually following Chrissy Teigen. And I would love to cook with her mom one day.
Really?
Pepper. Yeah, she is just like the cutest little thing and makes all of these amazing Thai dishes. I know. It's random.
That's
but
funny. I don't know anything
um,
about Chrissy Teigen.
yeah, well, she's a supermodel married to John Legend.
Okay. I can
And she has
kind of
2
picture that.
cookbooks.
Doesn't she do like weird stuff on Twitter all the time?
Yes,
Yeah.
she's always like getting into fights with
She's always getting into
people,
fights.
and yeah, she's
Still
kind of
beating up creeps
controversial.
and-
Yeah.
That's
But
the only thing I think I hear from her. But I knew she had cookbooks.
yes, and they're good.
Yeah.
They're really like it's really stuff you want to eat.
Yeah.
Everything from like amazing Thai dishes to Have you ever heard of tuna noodle casserole?
No.
Okay. Which is like the basic, it's like cans of mushroom soup mixed with noodles in a can of tuna with crunchy potato chips on top situation.
Okay.
Which I'm here for it. Like I said,
Sure.
I'm like from the top to the bottom, I like to make all the foods.
Yeah. If it tastes good, there's no
Reason,
rules.
yeah, there's no
Just-
reason not to.
Yeah. That's the thing about, and that's true in so many different art forms too, right?
Yeah.
Like that's true in fashion too, if I can make that comparison again. Because there's things that are considered to be better in fashion, but we're all still wearing sweatpants. We all love
Right.
sweatpants.
Yes. At the end of the day, we all just want to be comfortable.
Just want to be comfortable.
You just want to eat something good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, who's your favorite?
I'm a big Gordon Ramsay guy.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah.
I
Do you watch his stuff on Instagram where he's like making fun of people
Yeah.
like cooking? Yeah.
that's the new thing is he'll get the TikTok videos
Yes, the
of people
TikTok
cooking,
video.
and he's like, "That's not what."
that.
There was one great one where there was someone who was cooking. They were braising something for like hours, and they put carrots in there, and then when they served it up, they had like slices of carrot, and he's like, but it had been on for like 5 hours. He was like, "Those are not the carrots that were in there. Those disintegrated
impossible, yeah.
a long time ago." And so I love that one. Or he'll make fun of people putting I saw one the other day where it's like someone dumped salt on a steak.
Yeah, I just
like,
saw that one
yeah.
this morning. Yeah, he's like, yo, not a kilo, just a sprinkle.
Yeah. No, I think that what I really like is, I mean, I like his philosophy. And so the shows where, first of all, he's a baller. Like,
Oh, yeah.
he's just built an empire. He's worth millions.
Oh, yeah.
He's an amazing executive producer. And
Absolutely.
the way he's built his empire. And you see the character he's developed too, which I think is phenomenal. One of my favorite things are those videos where they'll play him talking to a kid versus him yelling at an adult.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
if a kid's done something wrong, it's like, no, it's okay. Like you
Yeah.
tried and all these great things. When an adult messes
Oh,
up,
it's like,
you
mother-
donkey.
Yeah.
Like where's the lamb sauce, of course. But yeah, I like the idea that he takes when he takes restaurants and turns them around. And I feel like I don't know how much of that is staged because it's obviously all Hollywood. It's all reality TV, sure. But the mindset of like, this person's a cancer in your kitchen and you need them out of here. This person is showing real promise, you need to put them in. But the problem I have with those shows is when they're like 3 months later and you see that the like shitty ex-chef is back. And
yeah.
that they've fired the person who was supposed to take over and actually had ideas, had promise. But I like the idea that I don't know, that restaurants should be a creative endeavor. Shouldn't be serving the same menu all the time. It should be people who are really passionate about working, but they get caught in the mire of having to serve so many people.
Right.
It's too fast and you can't think and you
Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
So-
The restaurant business is difficult to. I mean, I couldn't even imagine when people will say, "Do you want to do catering, or have you ever thought about having your own restaurant?" No, never, no, absolutely not.
No.
I mean, you live, breathe, drink, die. Everything about
And the profit
restaurant
margins.
is so. And if you are not good at repurposing food, like for the next day, your food cost your food waste alone can take you under. Truly,
And it's such a fragile microcosm because I feel like you can literally have one waiter ruin the mood of everybody in a restaurant.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. It's a delicate thing because it needs to be a space where there's like super high levels of discipline. Everything gets cleaned every square inch every night. We don't serve people rotten food. You don't it has to be super disciplined and also super light and creative. And it's so hard to have those two things in one place.
It is. I mean, it's hard to find the right people to be in your culture of whatever type of restaurant you have. You know what I mean? Like the people really have to fit. I was a horrible waitress. I would just get so overwhelmed for whatever reason. Like I had like a table of 12 and I forgot to put their order in for like 45 minutes. It was horrible.
That's not for whatever reason.
I mean,
you're running all over the place.
Right,
It's
right.
the most high stress job.
But no. So my two girlfriends and I, we were all hired at the same time. They were like amazing at it.
Yeah.
And here I am. Or if what I don't like, if like something came out of the kitchen wrong, then suddenly that's my fault because I'm the face that is
Right.
right.
You get
So
yelled at
I
for
was
that.
not. I have uber respect. For people who
Yeah.
can be in the food service industry because it was not me. I moved to hostess after that. I was equally as bad at hostessing because those people are rude. You know, like
waiting
some
for-
guy was like, he was telling me, oh, there's tables over there empty. You're not putting anybody in them. And I said, well, I don't have a server to seat that section to
Right.
wait on that. If you want to sit there, go ahead.
Right.
And then they moved me to food runner, which I was really good at. All I had to do was run the food as it came up. I have really long arms.
Okay.
So I could fit like 3 plates
Sure.
on one arm.
Well, what restaurant was this? Was it a chain restaurant or
It
was it?
was a chain restaurant. Yeah.
Can I guess?
Yeah.
I feel like, okay, if we're talking about stacking,
Yeah, I
on the
could
arm,
do 3 dinner plates on this left arm.
I know that it's a big enough chain that we have food runners and a hostess
Yep.
and a wait staff
Yep. And a bartender.
and a table of 12. I'm going to bet it was a Fridays.
Close, but no.
Oh.
So close, but no.
Cheddars.
No. There
Okay,
was no
I'm
cheddars
out.
there. Ruby Tuesday.
Okay. All right. I was pretty
You
close.
were, you were like right there, right? You were
Ooh,
like,
yeah.
yeah. Mhm.
I have also done that job, and I think that you can tell when you go to restaurants with people who have never waited tables because the amount of empathy that you have for the waitstaff is really low. And that's even coming from the guy who said, "This food is too bad. I'd really like my money back."
But I have no
what it
doubt
means
that
to
you
be
were very polite about it.
I
In
did-
the utmost, like, you're like, you weren't, this is
just was what
shit.
it was. Yeah.
You know, you were like, look, I'm sorry. It's just like not our thing.
Yeah, right. Yeah, but I had people yell and make a big stink and
Right?
yell to the manager. And well, that's the thing. I actually think that I was a good waiter because I hate it, but I'm really good under pressure. But it's
That's
like
awesome.
a curse because like I can do it, but I don't want to do it every day. And I just go
Right.
home and like eat and have to sit up like shaking for hours before bed. Like, oh my God, I can't sleep now.
Yeah.
But I made a lot of money.
I
Can't make
mean,
a
it can
ton.
be very lucrative. If you're good, it can
Yeah.
be great. I mean, people make living careers out of it.
Absolutely.
You know, especially if you're in the right town, the right city.
Yeah. I have to imagine someone out there really has a passion for waiting tables. Like legitimately says like there's an art form to this and I'm going to do it right.
And they're acing it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And you can tell those people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Not
It's
one
a
of
tough
them.
job.
Yeah.
Well, that's okay.
Yeah.
You tried.
I can't be good at all of the things.
But you weren't cooking? You weren't a line cook at any point or anything like that?
I worked at a little sub shop
Okay.
for a while where I made a lot of Philly cheesesteaks and hot wings as well.
Yeah.
It was like in high school.
Okay.
Oh, and I also, one of my first jobs, I worked at Dairy Queen. So I was really good at making ice cream cones.
Classic. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a process, isn't
And
it? out
blizzards.
there?
Yeah, I mean, you
You have
had
to know how to do it.
yes.
The curlicue.
The curlicue at the top. Yep.
Yeah.
You had to take a test.
Really?
I mean, no, you did not have to take a test.
Corporate comes out and then puts you
But
through the
they
ringer.
would weigh you did have to weigh the ice cream cones. So you couldn't be like giving away like a medium for a small.
That's interesting.
Yeah, there was a weight to
Did you have to
the
serve
amount
the
of
blizzards
ice
upside
cream.
down?
We did not do that.
Did that
back
become a
when
thing?
It became a thing.
Okay.
It wasn't a thing when I worked there.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
But was it like a drive-through or was it like a counter service?
Both.
Both.
Yeah.
You didn't have anybody ever mess with you at the drive-through though, like throwing.
I don't think so.
See, there are some pranks that I think are great at a drive-through.
Like what?
Like the one where you get an ice cream cone. And there's 2 ways to get an ice cream cone that I think are funny. And the
Yeah.
one is you just grab it from the ice cream and you're like, thanks, and you drive off. Hilarious. It doesn't hurt that person. And the other one would
but-
be if you take the ice cream and you go, do you believe in unicorns? And then you just smack it on your head
What?
and drive off. Have you
But
not
now
seen
you
these?
No.
This is
But now
important.
you have ice cream on your head.
Well, yeah, but this is my thing. I don't mind a prank that doesn't hurt somebody else.
Okay.
My problem is the pranks where they'll like throw their cup inside the drive-through
that's
window.
just horrible.
It's awful.
That's horrible.
That's awful.
Yes.
Not cool at all.
No.
Or there was another one where a dude went through and he has this truck wired up like a big train whistle, and so as the girl's serving him his drink, he hits the horn and it's obviously super loud.
I would hate
She's
that.
like,
I would throw the ice
She-
cream at him.
No, she throws the drink in his car. She's like,
Perfect.
She's like, you're not getting your food, and she chucks the soda into the car.
Perfect.
I think it's
That-
I
I
think it's
mean,
great.
my sound thing. I don't like loud noises, and if you loud noise scared me like that, oh yeah, you're getting
Super rude.
yes.
Yeah. Well, why do you need that too? People wire
you
up their
don't.
truck like that.
You don't. No one needs.
Well, that guy does.
Well, yeah, because he's compensating.
Yes, he's got a number of issues, and that's why he needs a train whistle on his lifted truck for
Right.
sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
With probably fancy lights and
Oh yeah,
2 exhausts.
spinning rims,
Yeah. Oh yeah. The spinners.
the lift kit, but he's
Mhm.
only
and
ever
the lights
driving on
are running
highway.
underneath. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
that's illegal too, I think, isn't it? When you're driving.
Yeah, I think when you're driving,
do it.
distraction. Yeah, but I think if he's probably sitting in the drive-thru, I'm sure he turned them on.
Yeah, has to impress this person he's about to prank.
Right.
For the internet, So,
Yeah.
yeah, and I don't know who looks bad in that video. Like if you take that video and you make this prank video, like I'm gonna do this train horn, and then you're like, now I'm gonna post it online because it makes me look great. What kind of twisted logic have you got there?
Yeah.
Would you ever post something where you were like, I really look like an asshole in this, but
Probably.
I'm the only one that owns it, so at least we can.
I mean,
Yeah. Or would you just be like, I don't care what people think about me?
no, yeah, I care.
I care too.
I care.
We should all care a little bit.
We all should care to some degree, right? Like,
Yeah. It should never
not
stop you from
everything.
doing what makes you happy or those kind of things.
Right.
But there's a reason that we care, and it's so that we all
Well, because
get
I
along.
mean, I believe in karma, and
Oh,
I put out
how
there
directly?
what. I mean, I put out there what I want to get back. You know, for the most part. I mean, sure, I can be a schmuck or an ass.
We all can be an
But
asshole.
in general, generally speaking, and my friends tell me this all the time, like I'm the nicest one of our friends because I just, you know, I'm happy making other people happy.
That's a prime factor for someone who likes to cook.
Yes, because I do. I love feeding people. I
Yes.
feel like I'm feeding love. Like you need food to live,
Right.
and so I'm giving people not life. That's a weird way to put it, but you know what I mean. Like
I know exactly what your
love
nourishment.
feeding. Yes, yes.
That's my favorite thing is cooking for people that I love, and especially when I get to tell them about all the great things that's in the meal. It's like,
Yes,
hey, I got
love
that beef from there, and this flour was from this mill in Michigan.
You
That's
got to try this, and you get so excited. You're
Yeah.
like describing the flavors, and your mouth is watering, and
Yeah.
just like talking about it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then I have to make myself eat it too,
And,
because I don't really want to eat it.
which I think is so funny.
I'm working on it, people. Don't at me. I'm not anorexic, but
Yeah.
no, but I never have an appetite ever.
Well, I mean, everybody has their thing.
Yeah,
I always have an appetite.
unless it's for my hometown pizza spot of
Ooh.
Filippo's, which
Then you're like always in, no
Yeah.
matter what, even if you just had like.
yeah, like 100%.
Mm.
Yeah, there's always that food that'll take you back.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
What is your food that takes you back?
I knew you were gonna ask me that.
Is it fish, like when you were describing
No.
catching trout and frying them?
I mean that definitely would for sure. Gosh, I don't know. You put me on the spot.
That's what a podcast is all about.
I know.
But I like dead air too, so you just think
Oh Lord. Well,
dead air is an important part of a good podcast.
a flavor that takes me back.
Or even if it's just something, just like me with that pizza place, I'll eat it whenever. You bring it, you put it down in front of me, done. I'm so stoked. Could be 8 a.m. and I'm exhausted from a late night, and I'm eating that pizza.
Yeah. So, have you ever heard of a pepperoni roll?
Yeah, like a kind of like
It's
a crescent roll.
What you would, not a crescent roll,
What am I
but
thinking
it's
of?
sort of, yes. So, there's an Italian bakery back in my hometown, and they made amazing bread from scratch. And they have a pepperoni roll, which is basically pepperoni rolled up in bread. And it's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, the grease kind of soaks through the bottom of the pepperoni roll, and you put it in the oven, and it gets crispy, and you crack it open, and there's all that juicy pepperoni in there, and the bread is steaming, and you just like shovel it all into your face.
That can work.
Yes. So the pepperoni roll. A girlfriend of mine gave me a recipe book on the history of the pepperoni roll and how to make them. So
I imagine that's a pretty natural thing. We've been taking bread and meat and
rolling
cheese
it
and
up
putting them
together.
together for
Oh,
a
yeah.
long time.
yeah, there's a pizza roll and then there's a pepperoni roll. Some of them just have pepperoni rolled up in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'll give that a shot in your honor.
Yeah.
I'll get some pepperoni and some sourdough and just go for it.
Yes. If you're ever in Western Maryland, let me know.
I will actually,
Yeah.
because you probably know all the great spots to eat out there, as well as here. But unfortunately, I'm about to leave.
I
But I know we'll
know.
be back because this has been a super cool place to hang out, and I really would like to see more of Knoxville too. It's been great.
Yeah. It is. It's a great city.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's awesome.
It is. It's
Come to
big, but it's
Tennessee.
not too big. We have like enough things where we're easy. It's a really great location because we can get to the coast within you can drive to water. We have the mountains. We kind of have a lot.
Yeah.
We have a lot going on here.
And I'll just need to come back to the park when it's not necessarily fall break mixed with the
Fall
leaves.
colors.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I think that's a great note to end it on too.
Yeah,
Where can
sure.
people find you on social media so that they can follow along? And when you start your video series,
My
they'll be
video
able to watch.
series, yes. So DeSociointhekitchen.com is the website. Same name for Instagram and Facebook as well. DeSocio in the Kitchen. Yeah,
Perfect.
yeah.
I'll put that in the episode description for anybody who wants to find it, of course.
Thank you. Yeah.
And thank you so much for being on the show. It's been an absolute pleasure talking food and also all sorts of things.
All the things, yes.
And thank you to everyone for listening. Thank you to our sponsor, Track Farms, for the CBD. And as always, we will see you on the next episode.